It's been almost 2 years since wildfires devastated Lahaina, Maui, and the experience for those who lost their homes has been daunting as they wait for money to rebuild. But with the latest news from the Maui courts, things are starting to move very quickly. So we are grateful to have him back in our hale. This is Aaron Creps. He's a partner at Leavitt, Yamane Soldner. Welcome back, Aaron.
Thank you for having me, Lena.
Thank you for joining us. Now, our viewers were first introduced to you by John Yamane himself back in February, and at that time, you told us about the Hawaii Supreme Court ruling that the $4 billion settlement was moving forward. Can you please update us on that settlement?
Sure. So since that time when the Supreme Court cleared that last hurdle for the settlement to go forward, Judge Cahill on Maui has approved the payout process for how people are going to get compensated. And essentially, a panel has been appointed of 4 people, and they're going to be reviewing claims based on categories and criteria and documentation supporting those claims. And then the panel is going to make an award, and then victims are going to be paid a percentage of what the award is.
Brother, this sounds so hopeful for them. This is such great news.
Yeah, it is great news. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No. It is great news, but I understand there's a little bit of urgency, right? What do our wildfire victims need to do now?
So, starting this summer, folks are going to be submitting their claims to the panel. And the hope is, if everything goes smoothly, which you never know in these kind of things,
right,
but it's the hope of everybody that victims will start to receive money, partial payments, by the end of this year, so December.
That is a good thing. Yeah. What are some of the steps that have to happen for those payouts to happen?
Well, everybody needs to opt into this settlement fund, and that means signing a release of claims against the companies that started the wildfire, responsible for what happened. Mm-hmm. So that needs to be submitted, and then you're part of this settlement fund, and you just need to follow the rules for timing on when things need to be submitted and the documentation that they need in order to evaluate the claim and make an award.
Now, let's talk about timing, because I understand that there is an important timeline that has been set by the actual 2-year anniversary date, which is August 8, 2025.
Right.
What has to happen before then, and why is that date so important?
Well, so in the law, it's called the statute of limitations, but it's basically a 2-year deadline for people that have been injured or affected by the wildfires to bring their claims. And so what people need to do really is contact a lawyer right away. We're less than 2 months away from that deadline, and talk to a lawyer and make sure that their rights are protected, either by filing a lawsuit or opting into the settlement fund. If they don't do that, they could either end up in a class action where there's much less money available.
I believe there was a class action out there that's just 135 million.
Correct.
Now, yeah.
Correct. So they'll get pennies on the dollar.
Right.
Or they could end up with their claims being barred as a matter of law. So they should act right away, talk with a lawyer, make sure that their rights are protected to the full extent possible.
Yes, well, you're a lawyer, so how can our Maui viewers, who are both viewers and victims of the wildfires, how can they connect with you folks? I think it's really important for them to start getting on it. And well, actually, before we get to that, why would someone not have put through a claim now, by this time? I mean, it's been almost 2 years. What is the hang up that you think?
You would be surprised. I think everybody's different, but I've talked to folks that didn't feel like they had a claim, or didn't feel like they had a big enough claim, or they thought maybe my insurance is going to take care of this. There's a lot of reasons people might be on the fence, but if they still are on the fence, now's the time. This is kind of last call to jump in and make sure that they get the compensation they deserve.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So definitely a sense of urgency, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So like I said, you're a lawyer, Aaron. I know that you might be able to help some families out there, and so can Leavitt, Yamane Soldner as a whole. How can they connect with you folks?
Either, I think our phone number is on the screen, or through our website online, lyslaw.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Aaron Creps, partner at Leavitt, Yamane Soldner. Please, families, don't wait. Get the help today.